way he is cynically engaged in class warfare.
Now, Governor Romney says he's got a 5-point plan. Governor Romney doesn't have a 5-point plan, he has a 1-point plan. And that plan is to make sure that folks at the top play by a different set of rules.
Oh, please, Mr. President. Everyone plays by the same set of rules, and at the end of the game, the rich flip over the board and yell, "I win." Now, luckily, some of America's top CEOs are assuring a Romney victory by doing the unthinkable, talking to their employees.
David Siegel is the owner of the largest privately held timeshare company in the world, a billionaire. He sent this email to his 7,000 employees saying, quote, "If any new taxes are levied on me or my company, as our current president plans, I will have no choice but to reduce the size of this company. This means fewer jobs, less benefits, and certainly less opportunity for everyone."
This is an email from Arthur Allen, President and CEO of ASG Software Solutions. Subject: will the U.S. presidential election directly impact your future jobs at ASG? I can tell you, if the U.S. re-elects President Obama, our chances of staying independent are slim to none. If we fail as a nation to make the right choice, number 6, and we lose our independence as a company, I don't want to hear any complaints regarding the fallout that will most likely come.
Yeah. If these CEOs or their companies have their taxes raised, you employees will lose your jobs, which would be terrible, because then you couldn't work at that great place where your boss threatens you. Now, some call this CEO blackmail. But folks, I call it efficient use of resources. I mean, why waste hundreds of millions of dollars on super PAC ads that may or may not be effective when you can deliver a message that will really hit home? Vote for Romney, or you lose your home. And it's also great for the employees. As Westgate Timeshare CEO David Siegel told Bloomberg Business last week, quote, "I've always looked out for their best interests. We're like a family. They're like my children. And I'm the Jewish mother telling them to eat their spinach and vote for Romney." Exactly. A corporation is like a big family. And David Siegel is just a Jewish mom telling you, "Eat your spinach, boobala, or I will finish the job the Moyle started." And now, thanks to an August FEC ruling, job creators have an even more powerful tool at their disposal. You see, back in 2010, 2 employees of the United Public Workers Union were allegedly fired after refusing to comply with a UPW request to sign waive, phone bank, canvass, and contribute to Democratic congressional candidate Colleen Hanabusa's campaign. That is shocking. It is possible to get fired from a union job. Now, folks, the case was brought to the FEC, who deadlocked 3-3 along party lines, which, by FEC rules, means it isn't legal or illegal, which really means it's legal. The same way that if you say, "Mom, can I have a cookie?" and she says, "What?" that means yes. Now, the Republican commissioners wrote that in a post-Citizens United world, requiring employees to work on independent expenditures for either the union or a super PAC is not a violation of the Act or Commission regulations, which means a CEO can now require his employees to campaign for the candidate of his choice, and the employee has no choice. It's just another job duty. Like, have that report on my desk by 5, or change the printer toner, or go to Ohio and stand behind Romney while being black. Now, folks, big fans of being black tonight. Now, I've got a staff of almost 100 people. Most of them are hipster Brooklynites who need Obamacare because insurance considers stupid mustaches a pre-existing condition. But thanks to the FEC, they're not humans. They're just company assets that I may now legally donate. So Jay, get your asset out here. Jay the intern, everybody. Jay, good to see you. Thanks for coming. All right. Jay, I've got some great news. Jay, I am now going to be paying you
Awesome.
to go to Ohio and knock on doors for Romney.
What? I'm voting for Obama.
No, Jay! Jay, please, please, no one needs to know who you're voting for. A secret ballot is the bedrock of our liberty. Okay? Now get in the crate. Okay. Go on. Get in the crate, Jay. Go on. Go on. Come on. Get moving. Get in. All right. Don't worry. There you go. Don't worry, Jay. It's second day air. Okay? All right. Okay. All right. Okay, and I've got some air holes for you there, buddy. Okay. How are those air holes doing, Jay?
Fine, but there's nothing to eat in here.
You getting that in there? Save your receipts, Jay. And thank you for doing this. Oh, and thank you, FEC, or whoever employs the FEC and made them vote that way. We'll be right back.
Well, the principles of democracy that were discussed in this video was censorship, liberties, and consent. And when he was talking about the CEO blackmailing, it's talking about the truth. Like, if he says he's not going to have enough money if Romney loses the campaign, and so if he doesn't have enough money, he can't pay his employees. So he's telling his employees the truth that he can't pay them if he doesn't have enough money, because Obama is planning on taxing the wealthy and big corporations. He sent that via email to every single one of his employees, so they were all prepared for what could happen if Romney wins or loses. John Mill said that censorship takes away liberties, and that people have the right to know the truth and the right to know what's false and to know why it's false. And he believes that censorship takes away liberties if that happens. Arthur Allen's comments were very similar to David Segal's, in the fact that he was telling his employees the truth and what would happen if Romney would win or lose. And for liberties, when they was talking about the FEC, how they are allowing CEOs that can make a worker support a candidate of not their choice. Like, say, what was I at? The FEC was talking about how a CEO can require one of its workers to go out and support a candidate he's basically against, and that it's illegal for them to do that. And this takes away any liberties that they have about voting, because one of the liberties you have is that you can vote for the candidate of your choice, and their CEO is just sending them out into the world telling them to vote for the person they don't believe should be elected as president. And this makes the workers an asset instead of humans. So instead of being a person with their own beliefs and their own opinions, the CEO just sends them out there and tells them, do what I say, or I can fire you, or I can demote you, or you just won't be part of our business anymore. And when Jay came out, his assistant came out to, it was just a little small skit to illustrate what he was talking about. When they were talking about who he was voting for, he said, don't say that, it's a secret ballot, that's one of our liberties, is you have the right to vote for who you want and no one else needs to know. He says that and immediately says, all right, get in the box, which is kind of contradicts what he just said about liberties, saying he has the right to do what he wants, but then again, he can't because he has to go in the box and try and support Romney in Ohio. And then the third principle of democracy was consent. And we as Americans should have the consent to do what we want. And the CEOs aren't letting that happen because they're just telling them to do what the CEO wants them to do, instead of them doing what they think is right. And an example of that in the video was when Jay was put in the crate because he didn't want to get in the crate. He didn't want to go to a different state and support Romney when he wanted to vote for Obama. So that was against his consent, and that just took away one of the principles of democracy. So in this video, you can see 3 different principles of democracy. through censorship, liberties, and consent, and that's why I picked it. Is there any questions or comments on the video? Dennis, you got one?
I came up with one. I can't remember what it was.
Where do you stand?
Well, I mean, I want Romney to win, and my vote goes to Romney because I don't think that Barack Obama has a well thought out plan on how to fix our economy, how Romney does, and I like how he's going at it as a business and not spending more than we have, so our debt doesn't get worse than it already is.
Of these three principles, do you feel that one of them is more important than the others?
Well, I believe they're all very important, or else they wouldn't be a principle of democracy that we've discussed in class. Censorship, we've talked about that a lot, and that's like more communist type thing, how they don't let people see what they don't want to see, so everything they see is what the government thinks is right. Liberties, that's also very important because you have to have your own beliefs. You have to be your own person with your own personality, not let the government run how you think. And consent, you should be able to do what you want to do to a certain extent. Like you can't go out and kill anybody, but like with your own opinions, you should be able to do with those as you want. So I mean, I think they're all pretty equal in value. Is there any more questions?
You think it's right that they're sending these people out to vote for the candidate that they necessarily don't want to vote for?
No, I think that's completely wrong. They're overusing their power by telling them to go vote, make people vote for the person they don't believe is right. And I don't see how that's going to work, because if I want Romney to win, how am I supposed to go out and make a competitive case for Barack Obama to win the presidency, because my own opinions are swayed that way? Dax?
With the CEO almost blackmailing his workers, do you think that will have a big influence on the way they vote?
I don't know if they have an influence on the way they vote, because unless they actually go out and do it and start believing what they're saying and they like switch sides. So if they want Romney to win, but they're out there promoting Obama and like what they're told to say, like switches sides and they go vote for Obama. The only consequence I see is their work ethic. Like if my CEO doesn't value me, then why should I value the job? So I won't work as hard. Any other questions? All right, thank you very much.